Yeah, eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation with
John,
Dale, Christian, and Armando. Screaming Eat Nation, we doing what we like. Tune in every week, guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Yeah, Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Eat, Sleep, Fantasy.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast, also known as the Bitcoin Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Christian Brito.
My name is Jeff.
And joining me, as always, is Mr. Dale DeMont. What's up, Dale?
Fuck you, Dale! Fuck you!
what's up? We are the Bitcoin Fantasy Football Podcast because you don't know what you're going to get. Sometimes it is, trending upwards and you're feeling good about yourself. And then sometimes it's plummeting to its death and you don't know if you're going to make it out alive.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, every time you think you've forgotten about Bitcoin, it's just staring you at the face again with somebody talking about Bitcoin. And here we are.
Yeah, exactly. I recently invested a little bit of money in Bitcoin. I know I'm really late. And, like, over the past, week, it's been just going up and up and up and up. I made, $50 in, a weekend.
Yeah.
But then I know I'm going to lose it all because that's my personality.
It's gone up about $1,000 in value over the past 5 days.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. There you
Very
go.
Interesting.
That's all you need to know about Bitcoin. Dale put money in it. Take all of your money out.
Exactly. I keep updating everybody every time I make $2 at a time.
Yes.
But then if I go down, I don't say anything until it goes back up.
It is a problem that you need help with. So, on today's episode, Dale, we are going to be answering your questions. Not your questions specifically, Dale, because that's mostly Bitcoin related, but your questions as in the audience, the listeners, because we have some pertinent questions that need answering, and I need to stop saying the word question.
Yep.
Because I'm starting to question whether I am doing this correctly. So... Yeah. I'm just,
We have a handful of questions. We also have... Hey, listen to... hold on. For a couple things. If you want...
Wait, what are you calling this right here?
We're going to do some housekeeping.
Housekeeping, you want me for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
Housekeeping, you want me to jerk you off?
All right. So, if you guys... I kind of screwed up here, Christian, and I'm sorry. We did the texting contest, right? Mm-hmm. And if you text ESF to 77222, you get subscribed, and then I send you some trivia questions. You can win stuff. We're going to do more and more as the season progresses. We're really going to use this texting service a lot, actually. When big episodes come out, like if we have a big guest or something that we're really proud of, we're not going to spam you. But when there's something important, we will text you, and you just get a little text just like your friend's texting you.
Anytime Dale's on, it's important. That should be a text right there.
There you go. But, I kind of screwed up because I said, hey, with these last digits, email me and you're a winner. Well, some people just went ahead and emailed me and said, hey, did I win? I assumed that they were the number that I said, and I gave them the free membership, not cross-referencing the actual numbers. So I gave away 4 extra draft kits. It didn't really dawn on me until the third or fourth one. I was like, wait a minute, I already gave away a couple of them. What's going on here? So I think.
So you rewarded people for dishonesty, and you were suckered into this dishonesty.
Yes.
Can they at least go back and give us a 5-star review or
Well, now what am I going to say? I mismanaged this whole podcast.
Exactly.
That makes us. That does make us look very professional.
We aren't. We are the whole point of this podcast is to have an unprofessional fantasy football podcast. For those of you who are listening for the first time, that's what we are. We're an unprofessional fantasy podcast. Fuck.
That's exactly what
what we are. And if you enjoyed that, listen to us. Let's get into some fantasy questions. Jesus Christ.
All right. we're going to get right into it. I do have a voicemail. If you guys want to call us, it's 831 sleep 52. That's 831 sleep 52.
That's not as catchy as our old 9.
No, I know, but
I
we
want our
lost
number
that because
back.
it went on inactive for so long.
Yeah.
All right, so Patrick Sawyers, I think that's how you say his last name. I appreciate you calling in, Patrick. Long time. Oh, he's the Outback guy. Patrick the Outback guy. We should nickname our listeners like the old time radios used to do.
Yeah, this is Outback guy.
Anyway.
Feel free to send me more Outback.
I know, man. I told him, I said, I want some Bloomin' Onion. He gave me a Bloomin' Onion gift card. I was like, hell yeah.
Can I get one of those, or is it just limited to you?
No, it was a long time ago.
Patrick,
Yeah,
I'm feeling left out here.
Okay, now we're guilting our listeners.
Also, do not Google Bloomin' Anus.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Hey guys, just calling in with a keeper question. This is Patrick Salyers, or on Draft App it's PSizzle127. Anyway, we're allowed to have 2 keepers in 12-man league, half-point PPR. Should I go for the value and do something like Winston in the 19th round and Cooper in the 18th? Or would it be better to keep my best talent and go with Mixon in the 3rd and Edelman in the 8th? Thank you.
I'm keeping Cooper no matter what. That's a very easy keep. He means Amari Cooper, right? Yeah, either way, even if it's Cooper Kupp, still an easy keep that late. And then his other options are
Nixon in the 3rd and Edelman in the 8th. I'd say definitely no need to take Winston in the 19th unless you see a real scarcity in the quarterback position.
Yeah, so here I'm just going to see if there's any value there with Mixon in the 3rd. I'm going to cross-reference his ADP, but I don't think there's any value being had there. Man,
if these are his only keepers, if you can only keep 2 in the whole league, then I am going to go Mixon and Cooper. I'll take Mixon in the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean Mixon's being taken right now as a top 15-ish player. You're getting a round and a half maybe of value.
Yeah. Call it a round.
Let's call it a round. At the top, I guess that's good.
Yeah.
I'm definitely, if it's Amari Cooper, that's my first keeper. And then Mixon is my second. I would not bother with Winston at all. First, quarterback's replaceable. Second, it's not enough there to be like, wow, Winston.
Right.
Just take Mixon. You're getting some value there, and then you're getting a lot of value with Cooper. So
your team's not getting better with Winston in the 19th.
it's not. But it is getting better with
If you
Mixon.
really wanted Winston, get him in the 15th, and you'll still be okay.
It does get better when you get a top 12 running back. I mean, right now I have him as a top 12 running back. Some people have him inside their top 8 running back. And if that's your opinion of him, then it's a much better value, because then you're looking at a late first rounder for Joe Mixon, and you're giving up a third. So then you're getting quite a bit. So it depends on your opinion of him. I'm a little lower on Mixon than most, and even then I'd stay Mixon.
Okay. This is a voicemail. Thanks again, Patrick, by the way, for calling. This is a voicemail. I don't think it was for us. It sounds like it's in a different language. I'll let you hear it. Maybe you hear something I don't. Hold on.
Hey there, Pastor. I need to know who is your process? My process is not one. But someone that can handle the ball. And your process is, I don't know, you let me know. Anyway, you can call me back. You got my number. Yeah.
That was creepier the second time I listened.
Can I understand why you played that on our podcast?
What was that?
So many people are listening to fantasy right now, and they want fantasy, and you just played a fucking creepy Probably just a troll voicemail. Honestly, that's probably all that was.
You think it was a troll?
It was a troll voicemail. I don't understand why you do this. We have people sending in their questions, but you rather play a troll voicemail. All right, I'm going to keep reading our written listener questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, go
All
ahead.
right, let's get into some of those. All right. I'm going to read you our first question from Kevin. Kevin is part of our Facebook group on Facebook. If you want to be a part of that group, it's the Eat Nation private group. Request it, and Dale will let you in somehow. Just fucking just slide him a happy face, and he'll let you in. All right. So first question here from Kevin on our Facebook group. If you are not part of our Facebook group, you should check it out. It's called the Eat Nation private group. Just request to be a part of that private group, and Dale will make you a member. Just slide him like a happy face in the DMs or something. He'll be super excited. He'll follow you creepily, but it's fine. Do you make anything of Donta Foreman to the Colts this year? Any interest in him?
Look, the only reason is because I am, and I've said this time and time again, really excited about this Colts offense. I'm excited about basically every part of this team. Their defense, their offensive line, their running game, their passing attack. I mean, there's a lot to like about the Colts. Is he interesting? He is. But I know John mentioned this earlier too, like, don't think Marlon Mack can even, get in the top 12. I 100% disagree. I think Marlon Mack has a very good shot at becoming part of the top 12 among running backs. So, is he interesting? Yes, he is. Let's see what happens with, let's see what happens with Mack, and don't forget Hines is still there too. So yeah, I think he's a solid handcuff. If something happens to Mack, what are the chances that Foreman could take his spot and Hines stays where he's at? Maybe it's a bigger threat to Hines' truthers. What do you think?
I feel like this is just a depth ad for the Colts. It just feels like, they're just preparing for if Marlon Mack gets injured, more so than anything else. And I don't think they fared well with when one of their guys went down last year, so they're kind of adding depth. If it were a situation, which I think is possible with Mack, if it were a situation where Mack was suddenly out for the year, then I think Foreman carries some value, but then I think he still splits time with Hines, which I don't believe is what they want to do with Mack. So I am not a Foreman believer in any sense of the word. I didn't think he would be cut, especially not for maturity issues, which is the reasons that he was cut from the Texans in the first place. Not anything to do with his Achilles. But I do feel like there is possibly more to the story. I think there's a lot of factors here for Foreman being cut. And then he's just signed, I think, for depth. I am worried about Marlon Mack for many reasons, but this is not one of them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, let's not forget Marlon Mack only played 12 games last year.
He was good.
Over 900 yards and 10 touchdowns. So
yeah. If he could stay on the field, man, he's going to be good this year.
It's all opportunity.
It's all opportunity and staying healthy for him.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Next question here. This comes from Joe. Thoughts on Crabtree to the Cardinals?
Doesn't do much for me.
Okay.
How old is Michael Crabtree, by the way?
That's a good question. 31. He's 31.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't do much for me.
Is it why? Give me an answer.
Well, I mean,
is it
just
other
young
people in the
talent
offense?
Yeah.
Is it...
Yeah, I mean, look, Larry Fitzgerald will still get fed. We have Christian Kirk, who's emerging, who a lot of people think he's going to be the number one wide receiver. The rookie Isabella, I know he's not, showing a lot so far in camp, but he's still a guy out there. I don't know.
Last year, Michael Crabtree had 54 catches for 607 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Sure.
Do any of those numbers go up in 2019? Catches 54, yards 607, touchdowns 3.
I think that's a ceiling. I think that would be. I mean, I think people would be really pleased if he gets that again. I don't think that's a possibility, though. I think that's his ceiling. I think he's more of a 1 or 2 touchdown guy this year for 400 yards.
Yeah,
is my prediction.
Yeah, I think they kind of brought him in. Hey, let's add a little red zone weapon. Let's add some production. But this is just kind of kicking tires on a guy who's been decent. He's been okay last 2 years. It's not going to be like those years in Oakland in 2015 and 2016 where you're looking at 145 and 146 targets those 2 years in Oakland. That's not going to happen for Michael Crabtree. This will not be a resurgence of his career. But there may be some games that he shows up. There may be some games that he scores touchdowns. But that's pretty much it for Michael Crabtree for 2019.
I agree.
I don't think he's done as a physically. I just don't see him carving out a huge role.
He's going to help the football team.
Veteran
he's not
presence.
much for fantasy.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
He'll help the football team.
I'll give you one more question from Facebook. How do you feel? Do you think Sutton is a breakout candidate this year? I like how I say Sutton, by the way. It sounds a lot like mutton.
Why do you say it like that?
It sounds like Sutton. Mutton. Because I'm hungry. I want some mutton. Mutton Sutton.
There's not many people that I will say I'm not drafting.
Right.
And I've done a few best balls. Well, I don't know, maybe close to 20 now. And I've done a lot of mocks. And I don't have hardly any Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, what has he done for me lately type thing.
It's not that.
He's just not in a very good situation.
You know what it is?
What?
It's entirely tied to when the hell has Joe Flacco ever had a valuable wide receiver?
Right.
Period. That's all you need. Because Emmanuel Sanders is banged up, coming off an Achilles injury. That's the only person technically ahead of Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton, the mutton, in the pecking order. I should probably stop cursing whenever I make a mistake. It's going to become a problem. We need a montage of when that happens, I think. The only person in front of the pecking order is Sanders, and nobody's excited about it. Even though Sanders is back, banged up, might miss time, might not be 100%, nobody's excited about Sutton, not because of Sutton, but because of the fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Like, he's going to be a wide receiver 3 or 4. That's as best as you can hope.
Just speaking of Emmanuel Sanders, the two actually today in camp, Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton got into a little scuffle. They called it a, quote, heated scuffle. Broke down pretty quick, but doesn't show much for team chemistry. And probably the way the Broncos season is going to end up going. So, no, I'm not investing in Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
Cool.
Are you investing in any Denver player right now? Because it's kind of really iffy with their running back situation.
Unless their name is Bitcoin, I'm not investing.
Oh, God.
Brought full circle. So speaking of Bitcoin, Christian, we have a new partner on the podcast. They are one of the oldest and #1 Bitcoin betting sports books today online. I am talking, of course, about nitrogensports.eu. Make sure you guys go to our website, eatsleepfantasy.com. Click on the little banner for Nitrogen Sports. Today, right now, is the best time to try the Bitcoin betting because Nitrogen Sports is once again offering over $75,000 in guaranteed prizes, especially for the NFL Survivor pools. If you guys have ever been a part of those, they're really fun. They don't take a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of fun, and you can win a lot of money here by going to Nitrogen Sports. Again, go to our website, click on the banner for them. They have free pools, which has free buy-in, and even though it's completely free buy-in, they still guarantee prizes around $2,000, and they pay out in Bitcoin. Now you're thinking, oh, I never dealt with Bitcoin, blah, 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 because I haven't until I recently invested. But it's really easy nowadays. It's not like what it used to be back when you heard
spend Bitcoin anywhere. Like, I got a notification the other day that you can withdraw Bitcoin on, like, your Cash App now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's simple.
Yep. I mean, not only football. I know we're talking to a lot of football fans, but they have, the NBA, NHL, soccer, tennis, MMA, all that stuff. So highly urge you guys to check it out. Again, go to our website, click on the banner for Nitrogen Sports right there on the top.
Awesome. Yeah. Not your love of Bitcoin. That needs to calm down. But that's pretty cool. All right.
I do have one more question here from Blake. He is in a half-point PPR team.
Blake.
He is in a half-point PPR 12-team league.
Dale, no, stop. Listen to me. Blake. Do you know where that's from?
No way.
Okay, never mind. Balake.
You are reference crazy.
Balake.
I can't keep up.
You don't know Balake?
You watch way too much TikTok and YouTube.
Dude, it's the same fucking video I always reference on this pod. The substitute teacher from Key and Peele.
Oh, okay.
I hate you, bro.
You just bring that out of thin air. How, you expect me to
Because you can't hear the name Balake and not say it. It's just fine. Just read his fucking question.
half PPR 12-team league. He has
This is
picked
why
number
your
5.
mom doesn't love you and loves me a long time. What?
What's your top 5 and a half?
Top 5 what? Top 5 what?
Overall.
Top 5 overall players?
Yep. Say you're drafting, the 5th spot. Who are your top 5 targets?
Half PPR, you said?
Yes.
Let's see.
Barkley, number 1.
Barkley's 1, Kamara 2, Zeke, Connor, and McCaffrey.
Zeke, Connor.
Yep.
McCaffrey,
I might sneak
really?
Hopkins in there.
Yeah.
I know people are not as high on Connor as I am. I think he is going to be every bit as good as Le'Veon Bell was, and he showed that last year.
So tell me your top 5, and I'll tell you my top 5. Go. I'd say it again.
Are you counting down from 1?
No, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's why I said down from 1 to confuse the shit out of you. Saquon Barkley 1, Alvin Kamara 2, Ezekiel Elliott 3, James Conner 4, and Christian McCaffrey 5.
Okay. I'm not sure I would be picking Zeke in the top 5 right if I'm drafting today. I don't think I'm doing it.
This is barring
Yeah, but if you're
a
drafting
contract.
today,
Drafting today, Zeke is not in there and DeAndre Hopkins is. But I'm assuming and hoping this will obviously change if I get any hint or notification that Zeke will not be. Yes.
Okay. So
this is
Barkley.
Obviously assuming, because I mean Melvin Gordon I would have in my top 12, and that's another situation. Same thing. That might change, but as of right now, they are under contract and expected, or should be expected to play. But whatever.
I'm going Barkley, McCaffrey, Kamara. I think I'm gonna go Hopkins then Connor.
Okay.
And I would might even go Hopkins and Adams.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. All right. What else you got?
I hate that you said drafting today, because I
had a lot of things I do.
But I love you. It's the first time I've ever said that on this podcast. Can we cut that? No.
No way. I'm putting that as my ringtone.
Oh, no. You might actually do that. All right, Dale, I got a question for you here. I think this is a good one. Which tight end outside of the top 12 do you think can finish as a top 5 tight end in 2019?
There's a couple here. Do you have a straight answer right now or no?
I mean, I think that answer goes, honestly, tight end is a position where if people stay healthy, it's kind of like there's not going to be a lot of people jumping into that situation. But I'll give you a couple. I don't know if you count Trey Burton as being outside top 12. He's just outside, so it's not like we're talking about deep outside the top 12. Right. But he was probably be my number 1 guy that's being drafted, in that 12 to 15 range that I think can definitely finish there. And I'll give you one more. I'll give you 2 more. Okay. If anything were to happen to Eric Ebron, if he's not as good as he was last year, or if Jack Doyle can just play the whole year, I may not love him, but that offense will be good enough this year that Jack Doyle will definitely be worth the 18th tight end off the board pick that he is right now. And then, I guess last but not least, I'll give you Jordan Reed. Mm-hmm. I hate that offense. I don't know if Jordan Reed can stay healthy, but he was a top 2 tight end when he was healthy.
I think we've been talking way too much because 2 of the 3 people that you talked about were going to be in my list. Mm-hmm. The tight end. I know, it's hard to get into that elite tier tight ends, right? I mean, you have to be really, really good to get into the, Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle, but you can fall in to the top 10 pretty easly. With
just like games. Nick fell in the hole.
Rest in peace, Nick.
Rest in peace, Nick. Pour one out for Captain America.
People hate inside jokes because they don't know what we're talking about.
It's fine, man. Nick fell in the hole. What else? More information do you need? It's fine.
Our friend Nick fell straight into like a people. All right.
We need to register nickfellinahole.com just for no reason. Okay. I mean, that's it. I mean, do you have anybody else outside?
Yes,
do you have any like super deep, like, hey, 100%. Tight end 20 off the board?
Yes. And I think he has a very good chance. And like I said, and this is why I prefaced it, as there is a tight end that can have 2 or 3 big games, multiple. Like if Chris Herndon in week 8, 9, 10, and 11, he can have multiple touchdowns every single one of those weeks and fall into the top 8. And I think Chris Herndon is.
I don't get the Herndon love. I'd rather have on my terrible Miami Dolphins Mike Gesicki than have Chris Herndon this year.
You're nuts.
I'm not nuts.
You're crazy.
Who else are the Dolphins? I mean, the Dolphins don't have wide receivers.
Look, last year, he only had 56 targets, but he had over 500 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. He's going to get better. Of course, Sam Darnold. If you don't think Sam Darnold's going to get any better at all, you're nuts. I know the 4-game suspension really hurt him, but in a deep, deep league, when he's coming off that 4-game suspension, you snag him off waivers, and I bet you will have a top 12 tight end at least for more than half the games for the rest of the year.
Fine. I don't hate it. You're right. I'm wrong. I mean, that's the second time
I've... good decisions because...
That's fine. Listen, man. I will never say this again. I told you I love you earlier on the podcast, and now I'm going to say something else. You're right. Okay. Chris Herndon is a good call.
I think he's... look, why would anybody draft, the 18th best tight end? You probably shouldn't, but I don't know. There's a lot of leagues now with flexes being tight end included, and I don't know.
Maybe I don't just like punt it on the position, and you need a guy. So there you go.
Right. Yeah, if you really punt, and then you're stuck with, get Trey Burton and Chris Herndon, and you might be okay.
All right.
Cool. That's a good question. Okay, wait. Before we do go, I just want to remind everybody, the Manscaped stuff, the Manscaped offer that we gave you is still valid. So if you go to manscaped.com, that's Manscaped with a D.com, and you use a promo code ESF. Anything you purchase there, if you purchase anything using our promo code, you get a free draft kit. So
okay, we got one more question here from our listeners. Dale, when was the last time you shaved your balls?
It's been a long time because I had a really shitty razor, but this Manscaped razor is going to be here tomorrow, so it's going to change my life.
My answer is Saturday.
Not soon enough.
No, my answer is like 2 days ago.
Yeah, because this be every day. You never know. You never know when opportunity comes knocking. For Christian Brito, my name is Dale. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Eat, sleep, fantasy. You rocking with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs. Better follow the conversation with
John,
Dale, Christian, and Armando. Screaming Eat Nation. We doing what we like. Tune in every week. Guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy football enthusiasts. I know you plan to be joining us on Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Yeah. Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Eat, Sleep, Fantasy.